Hey there, how are you doing today? Welcome to episode 11. We crossed 10 episodes. That's great. I still want to continue. I want to do a lot more videos. I have so much in my mind that I want to dump and put it out there so that it's helpful for others as well. I've read a lot of books and taken a lot of courses and stuff. I don't want to just use it and just consume myself, right? So I want to share the knowledge with you all. So that's the reason that I'm doing these live casts. So today's topic is about shiny object syndrome. And surprisingly, today we have a whiteboard. There. So there. All right, so today's topic. Hello. Unfortunately, I cannot see the comments coming in today, but anyway, I would appreciate if you could comment and share the news with others as well. Hope you can see me. So, today's topic is shiny object syndrome. How can you be productive without being attracted to shiny objects around you? All right. So, it's all about the staying productive. So if you look at the graph I've drawn here, it's this person who's so productive and he's focused and he's decisive, or he or she, okay? So productive, focused, and decisive, right? So this is the zone where you are really, really productive and you're getting things done. But sometimes we don't get things done when we fall into either of this extreme or this extreme. And this extreme is analysis paralysis. Okay, what is analysis paralysis? It is nothing. It's nothing just thinking and being indecisive. If you don't make a decision, you're not going to move forward. And most of the times we are indecisive because of the fears that we have, fear of failure, fear of success, fear of whatever, right? So we don't make a decision because of the fear. What if this goes wrong? What if that goes wrong? So that is a stage where you are over-analyzing things and you don't get things done. So that's not being productive. So that's the extreme on this side. And the other extreme is going around and round, right? So that's the shiny object syndrome. So shiny object syndrome is nothing but impulsive decisions, okay? It's again about decisions. You make decisions so quickly and you get convinced so quickly and then you buy into things that don't fit into what you want to get done, okay? So impulsive decisions are happening usually because of the external factors, right? So external factors like some business person or a salesperson who's really putting a lot of NLP kind of sales tactics on you, and he or she is trying to sell you something that may be useful for you, but because of the pattern they are selling it to you, you end up thinking that it is really, really good for you, okay? So there are some unethical marketers and unethical business people who sell things based on fake scarcity. Like they just say that, oh, I have only 3 spots open. If you want to join now, right? And then you think that this guy is so huge, he has only 3 spots left. I'm going to go and register for it, right? So some of them are truly having only those 3 spots. I don't blame everybody, but many of them actually use it as a fake scarcity. And then once 3 is filled in, then next day you will see another 3 spots open, right? So this is kind of an unethical kind of marketing or unethical kind of business, okay? So scarcity marketing, many of them use it to the disadvantage, okay? So then fake testimonials, right? Getting people somewhere like go to Fiverr.com, pay someone $5 and ask them to tell a testimonial about your product, which they haven't even touched or seen or used, and using that to sell things, right? And fake results. They just tell some numbers, right? So they say that I made $1 million last year, or $2 million, $10 million last year. These are, unless they show you a real good proof or somebody endorses them, like somebody who's respectable, somebody you think that are really good at what they're doing, or somebody who's respectable, who is recommending you, unless they are recommending you and they are proving those results are really good, they are, most of the times, 95% of the times, they're showing fake results, okay? So fake promises, right? So you can actually build a business in a day's time, or overnight success, overnight make $1 million in 10 days, like these Forex companies, they just advertise like, one click you will make $200, double your money, kind of fake promises. These actually influence our brain to make decisions, impulsive decisions, so you have to be really careful, right? So today's topic again is about how to stay productive, right? How to be productive in this zone instead of going to the shiny object syndrome or going to analysis paralysis. Okay, so whatever I said right now, whatever I told right now, like scarcity marketing and fake testimonials and the fake results and fake promises, yes, the marketer or the business person is supposed to be blamed, but they cannot be blamed 100%. Okay, maybe 5%, I would say. 95%, you are responsible. You should take control of the decisions that you're making. Get it? You should take control of the decisions you're making. So it's all about circle of influence. If you have read this book, it's called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It's a fantastic book, and one of the 7 habits is the circle of influence. Staying within the circle of influence. Whatever circle of influence that you have, that's where you should stay. Whatever your decisions should be based on the circle of influence. So if in case, if I'm making a decision, it's my control. Whether I pull my debit card or credit card is within my control. But the marketer telling you fake scarcity and fake testimonials is out of your control. So what else is within your control? Okay, I'm just going to quickly check the comments whether you're hearing me properly or not. So just give me a second. Great, you can hear me. All right. So I'm not looking at the screen today. I'm just looking at a camera. So I was talking about being within your circle of influence. All right. So if you find this valuable, I would appreciate if you could share it on your timeline so that I can get this message to more people. Please comment and share so that I can reach more people. Yeah. All right. So we were talking about the circle of influence, right? So the circle of influence is really, really important, because if you don't stay within the circle of influence and make decisions within your circle of influence, you are taking things that are not within your control. You're basing your decisions that are not decision based on things that are not within your control. Things like your friends, or your things that happen to you, economic situations, your job, these are things out of your control, right? Whether your manager or your boss fires you is out of your control. But what is within your control? What is within your control is, are you being productive in the job, right? Are you doing things as you're supposed to do? Are you doing things that you promised to do? These are within your control. But Somebody firing you is outside your control, right? So you cannot just worry about that manager will fire me, and try to influence him not to fire you. But you cannot directly go and say, hey boss, don't fire me, right? So you cannot go and say it. Rather, what is within your control is that you being productive in your company, you being productive in your team, you helping other team members, you helping your manager do their job, right? So that's pretty much your circle of influence, right? So stay within your circle of influence. That's exactly what I'm saying. So back to being productive and making decisions that are not shiny object syndromes and not getting into analysis paralysis. There are two things that you need to think about. There are long-term achievements that you need in your life, and then you need short-term things that you need in your life, right? So whenever you set a goal, you usually have a long-term goal, right? So maybe buy a house or buy a car, or become a manager, become an entrepreneur, right? Write a book, whatever, right? So that's like a long-term goal. Long-term goal is anything that's more than a year later, right? So that's exactly what I call as a long-term goal, right? So to set long-term goals, there is this pretty good exercise that I did. I followed the book Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. It's a very nice book where you can actually come up with your purpose and your vision in life. What do you want to achieve in your life, and what do you want to do in life? That's something I learned from that book, and it is more about productivity, how to get things done and stuff and all. So the summary of that book is about the one key takeaway I would say is plan your 80th year story. So what Brian Tracy says is that you imagine a situation, you are 80 years old, and then you have children, you have grandchildren, and you have great grandchildren, and they are celebrating your 80th year birthday. What story would you tell your extended family, right? Your children and your grandchildren and your great grandchildren. What is the story that you will tell? What is the story that you will tell about your life, your relationship, your community efforts, your finances, your purpose, everything, right? So do this small exercise. Imagine that you're 80 years old and your children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren are sitting in front of you. What story would you tell them? What is the story that you want to tell them when you are 80 years old? Write that story down. That actually becomes your purpose in life. So Brian Tracy says that whatever that you do right now, which will not help you achieve that purpose, that story, which will not make that story a reality, don't do that. It's a very simple thing, okay? So number one is to set a long-term goal, long-term vision. What do you want to achieve in life? What do you want to do in life? What do you want to do for your relationships, your family, your community, your friends? These, write them down. That's the number one step you need to do to get rid of analysis paralysis and shiny object syndrome, okay? So the next step is to break that whole 80-year goal into a short-term goal, right? What can you do right now in the next 90 days to make that vision a reality? The next step is to break it down into weekly goals. So when you come down to weekly goals, you actually write down, okay, this week I want to do this so that I move forward to my short-term goal, the 90-day goal, right? So how can you move forward to the short-term goal with your weekly plan? And then every day in the morning, read your long-term vision. Read your short-term short-term goal, and read your commitment for the week, read your weekly goal, and then write down 3 things you want to do today to make you achieve that long-term vision, right? So it's staying in perspective, right? Every single day you need to actually review your whole purpose in life and keep you reminded that these are the goals I need to achieve in my life, and really get down to those weekly goals and daily key 3 activities that you need to do. This keeps you on point. This really keeps you on point. Okay, so what did we learn? We learned about the shiny object syndrome and the analysis paralysis zone, right? And then being productive, being in the productive zone. Being productive zone is over here, right? You are really productive. But when you fall into the analysis paralysis where you're not making any decisions, or you go into shiny object syndrome where you make impulsive decisions, you actually fall into a place of being non-productive, right? So for that, I mentioned about writing down your long-term goal, which is your 80th year story. What story will you tell in your 80th year birthday party to your children and your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren and your friends and your community who are there, right? So write down that story, and then I asked you to break it down into short-term goal, which is a 90-day goal. Then from there, break it down to a weekly goal, and then every day write 3 things you need to do that day to move you towards that weekly goal, right? So this is pretty much keeps your long-term goals on point. So when things come to you, like the fake marketer coming and selling you stuff that you can make $1 million, if your goal wasn't to make $1 million, then you can immediately make a decision that no, this doesn't fall into my criteria, right? This doesn't fall into my long-term vision. My goal is not to make $1 million, but to actually help 100 people or feed 100 people every single day. That's my goal. So making $1 million doesn't actually fall into this criteria, right? So everybody has different goals, right? So some people may want to make millions and billions of dollars, but some people want to make impact in the world. Some people want to take care of their family, right? So whatever your goal is, when you keep that goal on point on your mind, you actually make decisions which take you there and not take you off there, okay? So one more last thing is that every week you need to reflect on the previous week. You need to reflect on the previous week. How did you do? What are the lessons you learned in the last week? So that's key, because you don't have to make the same mistakes again and again and put you into a cycle of into a non-productive state, right? So make sure that you actually reflect every week what you did in the last week, and did you really achieve, did you really move towards your short-term goal? So reflect on that. That's the last thing I want to talk about, the long-term goal. Okay, so we have sorted the long-term goal out, right? So if you're just joining now, go back to the once this live is finished, you can actually go back to the recording and watch it. So the last thing is about not getting distracted at this moment. So distractions are also gonna put you off focus. It's not the extreme out of focus or this extreme out of focus, but it actually pushes you here or there, somewhere. Distractions. What are the distractions? Facebook. Huge distraction, right? So notifications coming on your phone, WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, Facebook, Twitter, your emails, your whatever, right? A lot of notifications. We are troubled all the time. We are bombarded with all the messages throughout the day. And when you have your key tree in your hand and you look at these notifications, you actually get confused. Like, okay, suddenly somebody tells you, your friend sends you a message saying that, hey, come, let's meet here, right? And if you don't have the key tree in your hand, you don't have the long-term vision in your hand, you will actually go for it because you don't have anything to do. But you need to have a planned day. You will actually make decisions which take you there to your goals, to your achievement. Could be you could have your friend, meeting your friends on your schedule. It could be something important based on your goals, right? If it is, go for it. If it is not, say no, right? Saying no is the biggest secret of the most successful people in the planet. Okay, that's very important. Like the big players in the industry, like Bill Gates and Steve Jobs and everybody, they say no more than anybody in the planet because they are focused. They are focused on their goals and their vision. So, okay, so getting rid of distractions, Facebook Messenger, your phone calls is okay, fine. Okay, your SMS, your WhatsApp, your whatever, right? So whatever you have. So make sure you get rid of those distractions. And earlier last week, I actually tried this Pomodoro technique. Okay, I've tried it before, but I read this book recently, a curated book from U2 University or whatever, right? So I forgot the name of the book. It's Routine and Being Productive or whatever. So in that book, they talked about doing one thing at a time instead of multitasking. I'm a huge multitasker. Okay, I do 3 things at the same time. I talk to somebody, I type on the keyboard, and then I execute something on the side and stuff like that. I'm a really messy guy. So I am very used to this multitasking wherever I work and whatever I do. And I really found that is the biggest killer that I have, because that keeps my mind very busy. I'm actually focusing on 1, 2, and 3, and I'm actually distributing my focus on everything, right? So it's exactly like there is a saying in Tamil. I forgot the proverb. Anyway, so it's about you can't catch 2 rabbits at the same time, something of that sort, right? You cannot really, you have to focus on one rabbit to catch that and put him in and put that rabbit on the cage and then catch the second one, right? So you cannot really catch both rabbits because both will be running on 2 ways, right? So that's exactly multitasking, right? So you have to be focused on one rabbit at a time, one task at a time. So for that, there is this Pomodoro technique, which is setting a time. Just take your phone, set a timer, 30 minutes. 30 minutes, I'm going to do only this, nothing else. The task in hand, whatever I have, that's what I'm going to do for the next 30 minutes. Turn off your notification, put your phone on airplane mode, turn off your mail client, whatever, close all the other applications, all the other tabs. Keep only the tab or the stuff that you're working on open and do it for the next 30 minutes. You will actually get about 2 or 3 hours work done in that 30 minutes because you're not multitasking. Okay, so it actually worked for me. I set a 1 hour Pomodoro and I actually did 2 Pomodoros on the same day. It really is really focused. So I actually got my whole day's work done in just 2 hours time. So it was really a surprise, okay? So Pomodoro, Pomodoro, okay? So search for it. And then another tool that you can use is, it's called Rescue Time. Rescue Time actually sits on your computer and tracks what you do on that day, right? Are you going and visiting Facebook all the time? Or are you going to Gmail and sending replies to emails? Or are you spending on Excel and getting that spreadsheet done, right? So it sits in your computer and then it actually logs your time automatically. You don't have to actually track, but it actually automatically tracks your time, and every week it gives you a notification saying that you spent this much productive time and this much wasted time, right? Then you can review on your weekly review, I have to cut down on these things. And then there are some plugins on Google Chrome and all which turns off the Facebook newsfeed feature, right? If you are spending most of your time on Facebook groups and to message your clients or whatever, you can turn off the newsfeed feature, because newsfeed is a huge distraction. You scroll and scroll and scroll, and there's unlimited information and unlimited distraction for you, right? So there is a newsfeed killer or whatever. There is a extension for Google Chrome which you can download and put it there. You can still use Facebook, but your newsfeed will be cut down, right? So these are ways for you to avoid distractions right now, right? So, and that's it. That's all I have for today for shiny object syndromes and staying on track to achieve your goals. Okay, so I'm digging into Alex Shaffrin's course on how to build the momentum and keeping your momentum up and achieving my goals. Right. So as I learn, I'm gonna share more and more information like this. So this is something that some of the things that I explained today, I actually learned from one of his videos. Okay, and I'm trying a couple of things as well. So I'll slowly reveal in the future live casts. So if you like this, please click the like button or heart button or whatever. Then comment saying something about what I mentioned. Was it useful or was it not useful? What can I improve? What should I talk about? Comment below so that I know I have a feedback about, do you like my content or not? And what can I do for you more, right? So, and additionally, if you could share this video, that would be a great help for me, because I can reach more people. So you have seen my videos. I'm really a lot giving. It's just my way of dumping whatever I have in my head onto some content, right? So I'm doing this video just to share my views and my learnings to you all. So as much as you share this video for me, I can reach more people, right? Thank you so much. Thanks for joining, and I'll see you in 1 day's time, right? So 2 days time, right? So bye-bye.